Alright, welcome to my game. I am Let's Play Potatoes. This is myself in a Harugumo, Red in a Shimmy, and Iron in a Henry. We are playing one of the nicer maps simply because it provides some decent cover between the islands. This is a good opportunity to notice the new mechanic that they added and implemented into the game, this storm, which is basically moving from the left side of the map to the right side. If I'm not wrong, I think that it can come from both ways. It doesn't really matter. When you're in the storm, your detection goes down, and the amount of time between your shells. I mean, if for example, in the beginning you can shoot and you're detected for 30 seconds after you fire. This time you're only detected for 10, as long as you're covered by the storm. Besides that, it also makes your shells basically land slightly more randomly, so it increases either your omega or your dispersion. I'm not exactly sure. It doesn't really matter. It just makes you hit less towards the specific location you want. The thing is, with the Harugumo, it matters a little less than most other ships, simply because we put so many shells in the air that it doesn't really matter all that much. Of course, you'll do less damage in the grand scheme if you know how to aim, but overall, you're still going to hit plenty of shells. Now, Red decides to head off to the other side, which is probably a smart thing to do. They don't have anything that can support them. We have two DDs there, and over there they only have one, so he's going over to support the other side. Iron follows me, and A is being capped as well as B. I'm going to speed up a little bit. I do spot the shimmy. In second thought, as you can see, I've corrected simply because I saw he wasn't moving all that much. You can continuously shoot behind the small island there. We also spot a Z, which means that we have two DDs on this side. At this point, I decide to stop and use the island for as much as I can. I am in the storm. The daring that's in front of me, even though he only went into torp and turned back, is taking a very big risk, because if either the shimmy or somebody else would have come into his side, he would have been spotted and probably would have taken a big chunk of damage from the Henry, as well as revealing the fact that the DD is there, that him and the daring is there and could shoot the Henry. I am shooting and being spotted, which means that there is something that can spot me. It's not the Henry, because as you can see, he's behind an island. Either I'm spotted from inside A, or I'm spotted from the side of the daring towards the west. At this point, there's no point in trying to figure that out. There's no point in using up a smoke. I get closer to the islands and continuously shoot at the Henry. St. Louis, for some reason, decides to go into the cap. Now, considering the fact that we just started the game and the caps are sitting at 330 to 300, there's not a big difference there. This was a mistake. If you're in a cruiser early on in the game, there's no reason to go into the cap. The fact that he's not getting deleted right now is pure bliss for us and a miracle, to say the least. Because the dual Montanas that are up there are just simply too far away to shoot him. But at some point he is gonna screw up, and if I'm not correct, yeah, there we go. He's getting to the point where he's about to beach. He's trying to shoot the shimmy, which is nice, but it's not worth him beaching in a second, allowing the Montanas to have his broadside. Salem goes down to Z46 torps, simply because, again, it was a little bit of a mistake going forward without using your radar to find out where the Z is. Should have let the daring follow in and then follow him as he went inwards. Montana spots the beached St. Louis. St. Louis surprisingly takes no damage. Pure miracle. Again, this St. Louis has more luck than brains. The shimmy spots me due to, I can only assume, is Hydra from the Z. I have no idea what else could be there. I decide to reverse. I stop shooting because the Montana is too close for my guns to go over the island. I reverse to try and get out of the position of the guns of the shimmy. I don't know what's there. Once I see the shimmy's out of the smoke, I look into the smoke and I see that the shells are actually going quite quickly. St. Louis takes the brunt of the attack of whatever's in the smoke. Radar ends up going down, and I understand that what we haven't seen is the Wooster yet. And there he is. Now Wooster's sitting in the smoke, which means that I can also shoot him, and I will not be detected. I decided to open fire. I should have slowed down faster. You do use up the smoke. I could have used the island instead of the smoke, but that's fine. St. Louis is still in a really bad situation. He ends up going down. And now as you can see, again, I can't see him, but I know where he is more or less. I adjust my guns and continuously fire to try and put some damage into him. He does the same in return to me. But what you need to understand is because of the current skill sets that I have for the room, the more HP I have, the less fast I fire. So taking a little bit of damage is not a big deal. It's actually beneficial in the long run. Random shot to try and take out the gearing. I hit one, but do not kill him. The Alsace on the other side has a Z, a Montana, and a shimmy, and he's just continuously charging forward because why the hell not? Who needs to win? We are losing 4-2. Shimmy obviously takes Alsace down because the Alsace is an idiot. And I'm basically left with a daring here, as well as Iron and Red sitting in the middle. Now we do have all the caps, but we're losing big time, 5-2, which means that at any point they want, they can push. And again, it seems like I'm either radared or hydro. Now I'm not going to go against the Wooster, especially because I know that he's almost full HP. The daring does go down, making it a very simple decision of not going against the Wooster. And all I can hope for is that he can't shoot me as I'm turning away. I'm trying to get away from the radar. That's my #1 priority, radar and hydro. And the smoke is simply not doing anything favors. The Wooster seems to be pushing in a little bit more, but meets up with Iron, who is coming at him in a Henry. Now, I don't know exactly what happened here, but I guess that Iron was showing a little bit too much side, and he eventually does go down fairly quickly. He doesn't have that much HP to begin with, and there he goes. Now, the Wooster is in the cap. No point going there. That would be just losing the game. What I can do on the other hand is hopefully, you see there's a shimmy and a Z. The fastest way for them to go down would be straight down towards me. So what I am doing is I'm heading towards them. Now they can see me because I haven't taken the stealth tactics on this game, on this map, or on this ship. I decided not to go down that way and decided to go with extra firepower, which leaves me a little vulnerable, but as you may notice, I still have plenty of torps. And with a little bit of good intuition, smoke is not a cloaking field. It's not. And you're not being stealthed into another dimension. I end up losing the engine. I do need the engine, but I try and keep it just for a second to try and make sure that the torp misses me. It does. I end up losing detection. The Wooster's right on my tail. And I have a problem. We are sitting at 5 versus 9. Not exactly good odds, so even though we do keep the caps, they have the lead, and they will win unless I do something. Now, as you can see, the Wooster is sitting a little low. With 8,000 HP, I need to continuously run backwards, but that Wooster is running after me. He knows where I'm at. I am located. I can only assume that's either by him or by the DDs, and they're telling him more or less where I'm at. Minotaur ends up taking the shimmy down, and the Kronstadt takes the Mino in return. And I have an issue. I need to deal with this Wooster. Now, I'm looking at the guns of the Wooster. I'm trying to see what is he doing. If he's going to aim his guns in the other direction like he is right now, that will give me a little bit of an edge in trying to kill him. Now, 8K range is not much, but it's better than nothing. and it does give me the opportunity to surprise him with the first attack. As you can see, he's aiming forward. He's not completely all the way around, but I decided now is the best way to go at it, and I do decide to open fire. This is one of those opportunities where you can see that the fire rate on the Harugumo is just astounding. As you can see, he's melting down from 20k. He does get up a few hits in there. Takes down my engine and my torpedoes. He gets a few more hits. I slow down to try and prevent him from getting any more, and he does go down. He eats me a little bit more with 3,000. Now, I am sitting very, very low, and there are 2 DDs somewhere behind me, but what you do need, maybe possibly 3. Shimi, Red does end up taking the Henry down. You do need to remember something very simple. I am the current ultimate gunboat currently in the game. Some will say the Kaba, some will say the Harugumo. Leave that to your own opinion. You do not want to face a Harugumo solo. Now, as you can see on the map, we can see that the Shimi decided to go for red on the other side, which means that I'm left here with a gearing and a Z, which I don't know where they are. I'm still located, so they know more or less where I'm at, but they may think that I'm running back, which leaves it that if I sped up forward using my speed boost straight at them, we may end up with getting a kill. They are going to spot me, but they may not spot me fast enough, and I could be close. Now, the main issue is the Z has Hydro. I don't want to screw around with the Z. And Hydro, he used it once, but I don't know if he already recharged it. Best I can do is try and kill him as quickly as I can, maybe get the kill. I spot him because he fires before sitting in the smoke. Big mistake. He ends up going down. Now there's still a gearing because I'm still spotted. I know he's here somewhere. I don't know exactly where. Red ends up going down, but not after he took many enemies down. Took down 2 of them as well as kept them busy for a long time. I'm holding a 50, but just pure 52k damage. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. But the fact of the matter is, it's not all about damage. Sometimes you need to win games by getting the kills done, by making sure that the enemy goes down. It's not all about damage. And obviously, never surrender, guys. Never surrender. Doesn't help anybody when you're giving up. Friendly Montana ends up taking the enemy Montana down. Now he has another Montana facing him. He seems to be doing right by sitting straight on forward towards the enemy Montana, which I'm assuming basically assisting him in surviving. Montanas probably have AP loaded. I am not spotted anymore, so I can only assume that the gearing is heading in a different direction, which at this point I decide to go straight for A. Now remember, I'm very low, but so is the gearing. The gearing is actually lower than I, which means that if I just get a chance, just put a shell into him, leaving the Kitakaze and the Montana versus the Montana, we can win. It is now a 3 versus 2. Montana, I have no idea why he left the cap. We were leading. I don't know why he went after the other Montana. But he does end up going down, showing too much broadside to the enemy Montana, that even though he was beached, had his guns towards him, and he does go down. I'm going to go into the A cap. Kitakaze is not a huge threat to a Montana. I never know how much HP he has, even though he, as you can see, he's very low. But Kitakaze is just not in a good state. And I think that he took a lot of risk here that he may not should have taken, especially if you looked at the map and saw that I could cap A. You should have waited for the Montana to come around the corner and then just torp him and at least take him down with him. But the Montana ends up being a little slower, as well as I'm not sure how much HP the Kitakaze has to begin with. About half HP. He did go down. The gearing seems to have either disconnected or went AFK, which is too bad for him. He does go down. I go to the edge of the island. Kitakaze has launched torps towards the Montana. I use the island as cover, launching HE shells. at the Montana. Beautiful, beautiful rate of fire. Montana does end up taking a torp, and the game is done. Now, this is obviously a very, very nice game, but it's also, again, another situation where we should always remember, never surrender, continuously push. Never mind what's your situation, you can always make a difference. Thank you for watching. I am Let's Potatoes. Let's Play Potatoes. Please subscribe and follow me on Twitch with the same name, Let's Play Potatoes, without the E in the potatoes. If you like me, give me a like, thumbs up. And if you don't like me, give me a thumbs up for the effort. And please continue following me for future videos. Thank you very much.